Next day here, just getting warmed up. This thing is up to, what is that, 230 degrees or so. So that router, I had an issue with that router, if you recall. It, when I was putting in this thing right here for the T-track, the router, the adjustment on it didn't hold. So when I was applying pressure down on it and pushing along, the router was actually going further and further into that wood there. So luckily the problem sort of happened right in here. The router went down a little bit further, and so I just routed out deeper than I needed to, all the way down from about here. So I routed everything out to be the same level, and then I cut out on the new table saw here a couple of these thin strips out of this pine, and it just happened to be just the right width for the T-track, and so I just pushed it down in there, and that brought the T-track up to a level that I kind of liked it. It's still a little bit below the surface, which is good. Well, I mean, it's fine. It's not hurting anything, just to be a little bit below. But it was a little bit too far below before, I think. So I like this better. So now I'm just going to get some screws here and put the screws in, going down that way. And so I was just sort of looking over the saw, trying to figure out looking over the table here, trying to figure out next steps. And so I've got the air compressor that it's going to go right down in there, the saw up here, of course, and the router there. And I want to put in a, because I was just looking at all this sawdust. I want to stick in a shop vac so that it's easy to clean. Everything's easy to clean, and I'll make a little compartment for the shop vac. Here's the router, and I don't think it's going to be able to fit on this side here, so I think I'll put the shop vac just on, maybe in the front on this side over here. I'll put the shop vac right here, and so that's it. The problem is the shop vac that I have, it's a good one. I like it. I've had it for I don't know how many years. A lot of years. It's rigid. Got it at the Home Depot so many years ago, and it's been working great ever since. They still make the filters for it. There's nothing wrong with that thing. But it just doesn't fit underneath there. So I want to get a smaller unit that I can place underneath there. So I'm going to run off to Home Depot and grab that stuff. So screws and shop vac. That's really all I need. Then when I come back, I'm going to start doing some framing out of, I'll start doing some framing out of the compartments that I want to have in here, as well as I'm going to frame. This is sort of framed out already, but I'm just going to finish completing this little cubby hole where the air compressor goes, so it's not going. It's going to be protected from getting a bunch of sawdust coming down on it. All right, that's a little 10-gallon unit that I picked up. It's going to go right in there. I'm going to recess it again so it fits right down in there in its own little enclosure. And I picked up this stuff here. Got some little screws here that's going to allow me to screw in the T-track. I got this power strip here. I'll mount that somewhere on this table so that I can run the various power tools on here. And I was running out of these things. I like these. These are zinc plated 2-inch screws. And that's what I used for here. Okay, so I'm going to screw this down now, I think. I'm going to screw that down, and I'm going to cut off the piece that goes there, and I'm going to try out the clamps. I'm going to put a piece of wood going on there that I need to saw off at 19.5 inches. I'm going to get out my skill saw, and I'm going to have that board clamped on there to see if it works. All right, to be fair, so I screwed all these little holes in, and I was just, to be fair, it would be easy enough for me just to put a clamp, right out here. This, I've got clamps that would fit on there, but in fact, I don't even have to clamp it down. I could easily just saw it like this, and 9 times out of 10, that's what I would normally do. But where's the fun in that? I've got these clamps. So let me just see if they work, first of all. So here's a big one. Yeah, see how that works there? So here's a big one. And here's a little one. So I've got a couple big ones and I think 4 of these little ones. It's on there pretty good. It's not going anywhere. All right. So now, for the fun of it, I think I'm going to use the little tracks. No, I forget that. I got that, that little tracks, that little deal that allows you to, what do you call that? It's kind of like a track saw, but it's for ripping. I was going to use it, but I'm just going to cut that. Take too much time. Yeah, so if I was doing some cabinets or something, I might consider, but this is just going on the bottom of this bench. No one's going to see it, and I think that I would probably be able to do it straight enough anyway. All right. There we go. That works. Perfect. By the way, knee pads, they're also good sitting pads. All right, that's where the shop vac is going to go. So next step is I think I'm just going to create the walls for the shop vac and the air compressor. All right. There's nothing like a little project taking on a life of its own. So right here, now I was going to put in a wall on here and here, just sort of encase this in so that I can put the I could put that stuff in there, the air compressor and the vacuum and so forth, and hopefully when I close that up, it'll help to reduce some of the sound a little bit. And before I can actually put, I need to put a little nailer right there for, a wall that comes up. And before I put that nailer on there, I need to build this out a little ways with some 2x4s. Just so I can put some T-track going this way on the surface. That way that'll help me to have a fence for the router here. So I'm gonna build out this with some 2x4s and right over here with some 2x4s as well. And I just have to make sure that I don't get the 2x4s so close that I can't open and close this thing. So I've got that sitting out on purpose. Well, I think I am done for today. I didn't quite get to the point where I was going to put a nailer on here to meet up with this 2x4 from underneath. But I did get all these guys glued in place, so when I pick up next time, I'm just going to have to begin by putting in a couple of walls going up.